games, whatever you name it, all contain some aspect of this time travel, which really mesmerizes me. Okay, enough for now. I'll just go back to the details later. In today's session, we'll be having three segments. One is speech evaluation, second, the TT segment, and sorry, first is prepared speech, second is TT evaluation, TT, and third is evaluation segment. And to explain more about the evaluation, let me call upon our veteran Toastmaster. He is what I really like about him is he just boosts his way through the pathways. He has the record holder for completing one pathway per every 6 months or so. So without further ado, let me welcome Toastmaster Krishnan.
Thank you, Toastmaster Pranav. Very good evening to one and all present here. Today, I am playing the role of general evaluator, and evaluation is essence of everything we do in life. We move forward based on the evaluation that we receive. Even as a child, we always throng for that recognition. Evaluation is one kind of recognition on what we did better and where we can do better. And in this process, as part of the Toastmasters process, I'll have a team which is going to support me and there will be two sets of teams. The one team which is called tag team, timer, accounter, and grammarian, and there is another team, a set of speech evaluators. The timer for today is Toastmaster Darshini from VTC Club. May I now call upon Toastmaster Darshini to explain her role, please?
Thank you, General Evaluator. Good evening to fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests. Time flies, but the good news is we are the pilots. All that we have to do is to decide what we have to do with the time given to us. Harvey Mackay once said, time is free but priceless. We can own it, but we can make use of it wisely. So as a timer for today, I will be observing how our fellow Toastmasters and guests use time wisely. I will be timing the table topic speeches, formal speeches, and the evaluation. I will also alert each speaker with the time they have left using the green card, amber card, and the red card, which denotes the specific timings remaining. Table topic speakers should limit remarks no more than 2 minutes. At 1 minute, I will raise the green card. At 1 minute 30 seconds, the amber card. At 2 minutes, the red card. Other speeches should be 5 to 7 minutes in length. At 5 minutes, I'll raise the green card. At 6 minutes, the amber card. At 7 minutes, the red card. The individual evaluation should be between 2 to 3 minutes. At 2 minutes, I'll raise the green card. At 2 minutes 30 seconds, the amber card. At 3 minutes, the red card. Thank you. Over to the General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Darshini. Could you please show how you are going to show these colors, cards? Can you just show?
We have a website. So I will be screen sharing when it is like for table topics. Yes, can I do it? Yes, I can do it right now. I'll do it right now. So when it so if it's for table topics, it will start. So it will turn green. When it turns green, I'll be screen sharing and then I'll remove it back. And then when it turns amber, I'll screen share and I'll remove it back. And then when it turns red, I'll screen share and I'll leave it until the person completes.
Okay. Do we need to pin her?
No,
Not
sir.
necessary.
No, sir.
Okay. Thank you. As Toastmaster Darshini is going to time your speeches, there is yet another Toastmaster who is going to look into your filler words. Let me call upon Toastmaster Vivek from L&T ECC Toastmasters Club, who is going to play the role of our counter for today. Toastmaster Vivek, the stage is yours.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests.
Good evening.
Today, I am playing a role of a counter. I shall take note of lexical and alexical fillers and silent pauses used by the speakers, such as you know, so, some repeated words. And at the end of the meeting, I shall give my report when called upon by the general evaluator. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vivek. Now, the last but not the least, grammarian of the tag team. Today, to play the role of grammarian, we have a Toastmaster called Toastmaster Priyanka from Vellore Toastmasters Club. May I now request Toastmaster Priyanka to come on stage and explain her roles, please. Toastmaster Priyanka, the stage is yours.
Thank you, General Evaluator. I have a question for all of you. You know him. Me broke the bridge. Do they sound right? Well, it did during one part of time. As today's theme is all about time travel, let us travel a little back to know about the history of English when it was not known as English, but Anglo-Saxon. The origin of the English language goes back to the 5th century when it was known as Anglo-Saxon, which derived from the names of 3 Germanic tribes known as the Jutes, the Angles, and the Saxons. And you know some interesting facts about Old English? Well, Old English had no reflective pronouns like myself, ourselves, and yourselves. Nouns, adjectives, and even articles had gender like present-day Hindi. There were no silent letter used in words, and most importantly, Old English, that is Anglo-Saxon, never had the letters K, V, Z, and Q. For example, the word Q was spelled as C-W-E-N with a bar on top of E, which can be called as an accent. As a grammar girl today, I'm definitely going to make sure that you use the present-day English rightly and not Anglo-Saxon, as Anglo-Saxon had no word order. That is, there could be a subject, a noun, an object, verb. It had no particular order. Hence, I note down a good usage of grammar, good words and idioms in your speech, and also pay attention to the minute errors that you make in your speech. Give you tips on how to not repeat them in future. But before that, I also have another duty. That is to share the word of the day, which is plausible. That is P-L-A-U-S-I-B-L-E, which means seemingly reasonable or probable. For example, your business proposal would be plausible if you actually had $5 million in your bank. Anyone else who wants to try the word of the day? Anyone?
Toastmaster Priyanka, that was a plausible grammarian intro.
Thank you, Toastmaster Saumini. Well, I encourage all the speakers today to use the word of the day in your speeches. Thank you, and over to the general evaluator.
Okay. Thank you, Toastmaster Priyanka. That is the tag team for you who are going to intently look at the speakers who are going to come on stage. And as I said before, I have another set of team which is going to help me in the speech evaluation. But then there is time for that. I will introduce them later on. Right now, let me hand over the stage back to Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Pranav. Over to you, Toastmaster Pranav.
Thank you, Toastmaster Christian, sir. With that, let me start the first segment, the prepared speech section. So the first speaker for today's meeting, when I asked him what he likes to do, he says he likes traveling, he likes taking long naps. I don't know why he said naps are the best thing of the world, but one more question I posed him, which is what he would like to do, where he would like to go into the, whether to the past or the future or which time period. He actually responded that he would like to visit the Buddha. For him right now, he thinks that Buddha is the savior and the person whom we everyone must learn from. So without further ado, let me welcome Toastmaster Ritik. He's going to give his L1P3 speech of, excuse me, he's going to give his L1P3 speech of persuasive influence. And to evaluate his speech, let me call upon another Toastmaster Kavita. Whenever I see her, I remember the first day that I have joined as a guest in this club. So she was the TD master that time, and also she took lots of grammarian rules, which she enforced it very strongly. And let me welcome Toastmaster Kavita to speak about the objectives for Ritik's speech.
Yeah, thank you, TM Modi. Good luck to the target speaker, TM Ritik. And for today's project of his, the purpose is to learn or review basic research methods and present a well-organized, well-researched speech on any topic. Good luck to you, TM Ritik. Thank you.
Okay, welcome TM Ritik, and the time for the speech is 5 to 7 minutes, right? Okay, so TM Ritik, your speech. The attention economy. The attention economy, TM Ritik.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Timer, you may begin now. That's not a bad picture. An official trailer for Marvel movies? Oh, look at all these other trailers. Let's catch up with what Modi ji is saying. A new follower on Instagram, and other idiom at VTC. What? Sandeep Maheshwari is starting a podcast? Text from mom, text from sister. Hey sis, did you watch this funny cat video? Send. Whoop. Oh God, it's been 40 minutes. Every time I look up after being stuck on my phone like this, I know it's going to happen again. Most of the time, I don't feel great about it. This is what it's like to be a part of attention economy. Fellow Toastmasters, let me explain. You see, for hundreds of years, economy or wealth remained in land and gold. Man who owned land and gold owned wealth. It made kings and his ministers rich. Soon in the 1800s, with the rise of factories, wealth passed on to the industrialists and manufacturers. Man who had power to manufacture goods owned wealth. Today, we live in the age of information. Man who has power to leverage right information at the right time owns wealth. With internet, any piece of information you want, what product should you buy? What restaurant should you go? Who is Elon Musk and what does this guy want? All that is literally seconds away. In fact, we are bombarded with information. The average person today is exposed to more information in a single day than someone in the 15th century would have encountered in his entire life. An observation made by Ferber Simon in 1970 states that when information becomes abundant, attention becomes scarce. Since attention is a scarce resource now, technologies today compete with each other for our attention. Hence, we live in this attention economy where you succeed by getting people to spend most time to allocate attention to you or your product. You dominate the economy if you could make people develop a habit where you get their attention and hold it. It's why Netflix has autoplay. It's why social networks have endless scrolling. It's why Facebook design algorithms are so catchy. It's why Snapchat has Snapstreak. Speaking of Snapchat, let me give you an example. My sister uses Snapchat to communicate with her friends, and they invented a feature called Snapstreaks, which shows the number of days in a row two people have communicated with each other. In other words, what they just did is they gave two people something they don't want to lose. Because if you're a teenager and you have a 150-day streak in a row, you don't want that to go away. To keep her streaks going, my sister will take pictures of walls, of ceilings, of basic. Social networking sites like these have hundreds of years of psychological studies in linguistic, sound, design, and social behavior at their disposal. The perfect ding sound, the red notification, the like, the love. It's the endless flow of rewarding stimuli that keeps you coming back day after day. So, what's the effect it has on us over the course of the day? Well, this constant distraction has a pretty drastic effect on our day-to-day lives. A study by Gloria Mark at UC Irwin has found if you're in the middle of doing something complex, message minutes to raise phones on silent and vibrates in your pocket. Now, add the fact that we check our phones 150 times a day, every 6.3 minutes, it sounds even more scary. In simple words, in the attention economy, technologies are trying to grab our attention and direct it towards the goals that they have. And often those goals are quite different from our own. If you think about the goal you have for yourselves, I want to spend time with my family. I want to learn how to play the piano. I want to take that trip I've been thinking about for so long. Now, these are real human goals. But if you look at the goals that technology have for us, to maximize the amount of time we spend on screen, to maximize the number of clicks, the number of page views, by far we can say that attention economy is not on our side. There is a fundamental difference between their goal and our goals. I know that technologies are solving human problems in ways which were never possible before. But these technologies have also led to great appetite for distraction. In fact, we are distracted nearly half our lives, and there is a report from Microsoft that found that an average human attention span is just 8 seconds now, 1 second less than a goldfish. Fellow Toastmasters, today attention is the most valued currency. Our attention determines the experiences we have, and our experiences determines the lives we live. We can focus our attention to build our lives we want in the time we have got, or lose it to infinite distractions around us. Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of our lives, all we have is our attention and our times. How are you going to spend it? Thank you. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ritik. That was a really amazing speech, which explains the attention economy. Actually, I also read a book called The Hooked, which exactly explains how these apps try to hook us and get into a chain of addiction. So let me welcome the second speaker for today's meeting. She's the VPP. She was a VPPR for the last tenure, and currently she's the treasurer. And not only that, during her VPPR tenure, she has initiated many programs like Panchtantra Talks, which invites various Toastmasters and interviews. And when I asked her where she would like to go to the past or future, she said she want to go back to her college days where she really likes to enjoy it in a more adventurous way. Let me welcome Toastmaster Kritika ma'am. And to evaluate Toastmaster Kritika ma'am's speech, we have another fellow Toastmaster. He likes music, classical rock, and he's currently doing final year in VIT in mechanical engineering. And he's a, I think he's a Spielberg fan because when he said which time he wants to travel to, he said he wants to go to the dinosaurs period. So I just he reminds me about Jurassic Park. So let me welcome Toastmaster Rahul to explain the speech objectives.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Today, I will be evaluating Toastmaster Kritika on her level 2 speech 3, which is Introduction to Toastmaster Mentoring. The purpose of the speech is to clearly define how Toastmaster envisions mentoring and the speaker to share some aspects of previous experience as a protege. Ma'am, today I will be evaluating you on these objectives as well as some certain speech elements such as clarity, vocal variety, eye contact, gestures, and comfort level. At the end of the session, when called upon by the general evaluator, I will be giving you the areas which you excelled at, areas which you can improve on, and one challenge for your next speech. I wish you all the best for your speech, and over to Toastmaster Pranav.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rahul, for your explaining her objectives. So, Toastmaster Kritika ma'am, she is doing. Toastmaster Kritika ma'am, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Toastmaster Kritika ma'am.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Pranav. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. My humble pranams to all the gurus who have made me what I am here in front of you today. And my pranams to all the 27 of you who have joined this meeting today, because they say every Toastmaster meeting is an experience by itself, and you also get a lot of learning. So when I started learning about mentoring and Toastmasters, I came about this wonderful quote or a talk between a mentor and a mentee. So wherein the mentee says, I asked my guru, which is more important? Is it the journey or the destination? And the guru said, it's the company. And I have had the company of wonderful gurus with whom I share a very, very remarkable experience. Having said that, in this speech, I want to bring about some of the 3 important qualities that I see as a mentor. The 3 C's of a mentorship. The first C is consultant. The second C, counselor. And the third C, a cheerleader. While most of my mentors have had all these qualities, I want to explain or give you an example of one of the distinct qualities that I have seen in each of these mentors. The first one, let me pick up, is a consultant. Now, consultant is a mentor who shares his business insights, his real world experience to his mentees so that they can perform better. And one such mentor that I have is my current mentor of Toastmaster. He's junior to me, but who cares? He's got tremendous experience in Toastmasters. And I love the way he gets creative in every speech. We share an amazing relationship as a mentor and a mentee, wherein we share a lot of creative ideas. I share, obviously, as my speech. He evaluates my speech, every speech I give, and evaluates for its good and not so good. And I do the same thing with him. And that is so good because both of us share as a very, very real world experience. The second experience I want to explain, the second C that I told you, is about a counselor. Now, the counselor has to listen, guide, and not reveal all the answers immediately. And that's exactly happened when I joined as a raw person right straight out of college into corporate world. This mentor who was there, he helped me not just to learn about the technical nuances, but to also see and understand how to thrive in the corporate world. He said he has explained so many instances in which he told me that don't worry that you are a woman, you can perform. As long as you can perform, there is definitely a way your voice will be heard. I was, as you all can be aware, and it's incidental that we are doing it with Vellore Toastmasters Club, that when you are in the college, you suddenly are put in the corporate world, you simply don't know what to do. And this mentor helped me put in every situation so that I learned by experience. He never gave me answers right away. He made me go through that experience and taught me how I should learn from the mistakes that I made. And every mistake I made, it has helped me to not make that mistake again. And that is such a tremendous learning that I've had as experience from this mentor. He was such a great counselor, and he has taught me so many real life lessons that just I wouldn't get easily or even reading hundreds of leadership books. The third C is about cheerleader. This man is a very interesting man. While he has been very, very supportive as a cheerleader, what you expect from the mentor is not to just teach you, but constantly motivate you, even if you are in serious trouble. And that's exactly what happened with this mentor, who is my current boss. And I've been having this boss for the last 5 years. In the last 5 years, in the current profile that I had to go through a lot of struggle, just struggle that put me off, that couldn't make me even sleep in the nights. But then the only thing that this mentor kept doing to me is constantly cheering me up. There are so many instances that he has said, Kritika, just don't care. Who is he to just say that? You keep on trying and you will get it right one day. And I can proudly say, and I am sure my fellow mates from ECC Toastmasters Club will also acknowledge, the achievements that has happened is simply because of the cheering up that I have received from this mentor. With all these three beautiful leadership, mentorship qualities, being a great consultant, being a great counselor, being a great cheerleader, I have had an amazing experience from each one of them. While I can't obviously cover all my mentors in the 5 to 7 minutes, I hope I have done due justice by giving you my real life examples of how I felt or how I have had this experience as a mentorship. Mentor and mentee relationship is such a beautiful experience, and I think the Toastmasters itself is only accentuating the relationship and also trying to tell us how it should move on. And I'm sure in the days to come, I'm going to have more experiences with more meetings. Over to you, TM Modi. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kritika ma'am. That was a really wonderful speech. Actually, the first line really hooked me, which is you don't need journey, neither journey nor destination is important. The company is important. So with that, let us close the prepared speech segment and we move on to the excuse me. You move on to the TT topics session. Table topics. I could explain it, but let me hand over it to able Toastmasters who shares similar interest with me. She loves criticize. She loves movies, right? Novels, and she loves to criticize the science fiction movies as well. Not only that, she promised me to take through a time travel journey. So without further ado, let me welcome Toastmasters Tomini.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. Time travel. Don't deny it.
We all would have wanted to do it at least once in our lifetimes. Today that we are discussing the possibilities of it, my optimism is spiking up. But whether you're traveling, whether you're not traveling through time and sitting in the present and moving forward with time, or traveling to the past, or traveling super forward to the future, there's one thing that is always constant. It's the uncertainties. We Indians are known to pre-plan everything so unnecessarily well in advance, right? For example, if you have a flight the next day at 10 p.m. in the night, you will be assembled at the airport at 9 p.m. the previous day. So, but in this battle between life and us, life always wins at throwing uncertainties at you. Say you hop onto this time traveling machine and you set the date to February 17th, 1921, and you reach your destination successfully. Congratulations. But then you realize the people there are staring at you. The realization hits when you realize that they're not staring at you, but your clothes, which are from the future, which are from 100 years from their time. What do you do then, Toastmaster? You need to improvise, right? So this table topic session is going to be a practice for such sessions. Don't worry. This time I've planned to go a little easy on you all. I'm taking a small break from convention and I'm going to announce the topic first, and then any one of you from the crowd can raise your hand, use the raise hand feature to start talking on the topic. All right. So the first topic is going to be, if you could travel back to time to your younger self, it could be of any age, say 5 years old, your 6-year-old, 15 or 16 or 20-year-old self, what advice would you give to your younger self, or what would you like to say to them? Who would like to speak on this topic? Is my topic understandable and clear?
Vijay sir has raised his hand.
Vijay sir, can we have you? Okay. Toastmaster Vijay. A visit to your younger self. A visit to your younger self, Toastmaster Vijay.
Can I have my 30 seconds, please? Yeah. Can you repeat
Yes,
can you repeat the question?
If you could travel back in time to your younger self, it could be of any age, 5, 16, 20, 30, what advice would you like to give to them, or even would like to just say to them?
Sure. Thank you. Timer, you may start. Hello, everyone. Time travel. It's one thing which each one of us have always desired. Sometimes to go into the past and always into the future. But now I have the option that if I were in the past, what kind of advice I would like to give to myself, the old me. There are a list of things which I would want to correct. But then I think, will I be myself, what I am now, if I go on and correct those mistakes? Haven't I learned from those mistakes on my way down? Haven't I improvised on those? Am I not my mistakes? Am I not the lessons which I've learned from my mistakes? Should I actually go down and correct myself? Will that be plausible? I don't think so. But if I were to do so, I'd say to myself, fail more, fail often, and learn from it. Make mistakes, but ensure that you never repeat your mistakes. Thank you for listening to me. This is Vijay Sura.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vijay. That was energetic and a lesson that everyone has to take home. So next topic is, you are going to be stuck in a time loop for 10 days. So a time loop is an event or a set of events that start and finish. And once it finishes, it starts again from the first. So you're going to be in this loop for 10 days, living one life event of yours again and again. What event in life would you choose and why? Who would like to speak on this? No one? I see people turning off your videos right now.
Yeah, I'll go. I don't see the raise hand button. Okay. Yeah, Arun here.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Toastmaster Arun, you are stuck in a time loop. You're stuck in a time loop, Toastmaster Arun.
Thank you very much, TT Master. So I'll just take 10 seconds. The most important thing to me about life is about living the present moment. So this is something that you hear from everywhere, from every saint to every philosopher telling you a different version of the same thing. Don't worry about the past. Don't think about the future. Live in the present. The present is so very important and also so beautiful because you don't know what is going to happen, but you have done something that will influence what will happen, and you are also doing something that is happening. So it is sort of all three mixed together happening at the same time. So if I were to live, if I have a chance to actually choose the time loop, I would choose the exact right moment that is over here right now. So this exact moment where I say this exact moment, this is where I would like it to start. And 10 days from now, I'm not sure what is going to happen. I'm not sure how things will unfold, who I'll meet, what I'll say, what I'll get back, whether I'll get a gift for something, whether I'll gift someone, whether I'll make someone's life better or miserable, or someone will make my life better or miserable. Whatever be it, I believe that the next 10 days is the perfect time, knowing that if I know that at this moment that this 10 days is going to repeat over and over again, I'm sure I'll be clever enough to make these 10 days a little more better than the usual, say the last 10 days or even the 10 days. The most happiest time of my life could be some other 10 days, but I'll still be really conscious. But again, that could actually turn to the contrary and actually make me more anxious, like most of our Toastmasters today, who are sort of very anxious seeing the younger crowd that is there on the other side. We actually did not expect that. So I believe, so that is something that knowing that this is going to be the 10 days, but I believe I'll definitely enjoy the experience. I will choose the next 10 days to be the time loop that I want to be stuck in forever. Thank you. Over to you, TT Master.
Thank you so much, sir. That was an insightful speech. Next up, the next topic is, you are meeting your 80-year-old self. What question or questions would you like to ask yourself? Nobody? Am I supposed to pick?
Okay, let me try this one.
Yes, thank you, sir. Toastmaster Pranav, you are meeting your 80-year-old self. You are meeting your 80-year-old self, Toastmaster Pranav.
Thank you, Toastmaster, for me. Actually, I always wanted to ask my future self only one question. Was I able to live my life with fulfillment? So the answer might be different things. Like I might have really enjoyed my life with fulfillment. I might have achieved great things like earning lots of wealth and then getting a beautiful wife and etc. etc. Living a happiest life till the till 80. It might be that might be the possibility, or the second thing, I might have really struggled until 80 with various challenges and various misfortunes that have happened. But what I would like to hear from my is that 80-year-old self is, whatever whatever the challenges or whatever the fortunes that you are able to experience, please remember this and make your life more fulfilled, more even if you have to drag yourself through the mud to be at what you are, you never ever be hopeless about your future. Always put a smile on your face and face the challenges or head on, and be humble when you're really enjoying your fortunes, because that will help you give make you level headed and not go arrogant to your destruction. Thank you, Toastmaster, for me.
Thank you, Toastmaster Pranav, for that most positive speech. Next, the next topic and the last one is going to be, we've all loved watching movies and shows, right? Which time travel movie or show would you like to live the events and which character? Anybody?
Yeah, TM Somini, TM Abhinav here. I would like to go.
Yes. So, Toastmaster Abhinav, which time traveling movie would you like to live in? Which time traveling movie would you like to live in, Toastmaster Abhinav? Over to you.
Thank you. So let me have my 10 seconds here.
Sure.
So I haven't watched many time travel movies as such because I don't like watching too much scientific movies because I like to relax. So the one movie that came to my mind, which actually I loved, is a movie called About Time. So in this movie, this guy has this extraordinary power to go back time whenever he wants after he hits 20 years old. So especially today, I would like to have that power. So if you see in that movie, what happens is that whenever that guy makes a mistake with his crush, he goes back. Say his crush doesn't like people wearing full sleeves. When he realizes it, he goes back, he rolls up his sleeves and go and meet her. So that is his power. So especially today, why I would like to use it is because not because I want to impress my crush. It's because a day back I was rushing to my company, and in that rush, because we have to reach there at 9 and punch, otherwise your half day is gone. In that rush, I happened to hit a table which was on my way, but I didn't feel anything because I had my phone over there, and I went there, and at 8:59 I happened to punch it. On my way back after punching, after having my breakfast, I got this phone call, and at that moment when I took my phone, all I saw was this spider web on my screen. So I would like to go back. Instead of waking up 8:20, I would have gone back and woke up at 8:15 and reached my company 5 minutes before, in order to save my beautiful screen of the phone that I bought 6 months back. So yeah, that power I would like to have. And thank you for this amazing topic. And over to you, Diamond.
Thank you, Toastmaster Abhinav, for giving us a glimpse inside the movie About Time. Now it is going to be on my to-watch list. Thank you all. My dear Toastmasters, all of these speeches were an evidence that there is an inner child inside all of us that craves adventure and action, whatever our ages were. It is very important in life to never lose that innocent, naughty inner child in us. But you don't necessarily need time travel to satiate that thirst for adventure. If we were meant to be in one place, we'd have roots, not feet. So to let adventure fill your souls, get up from the chairs and get out. Oh, not right now. At least wait till the session is over. Over to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Somini. That was actually how I expected. It exceeded my expectations, and you have really helped me and others to experience how the time travel and the different kinds of inner emotions that they have that motivates them to time travel. With that said, let me go on to the next segment. But before that, I like to become a science professor. Okay, so I'm talking about possibilities of different scientific theories that support time travel and that not support. Just give me a moment. I'll just show my screen. I hope my screen is visible, right? Great. So this is all the collection, all the different movies, and there's a book here which describes time travel in one or the other way. So how many of I hope most of them have watched at least Avengers or let's say Harry Potter. So in the Prisoner of Azkaban, there was a time travel scene, and in the end game, there was another time travel scene. Along with that, my favorite movie is Back to the Future, which really blew up the possibilities of how to shoot a time travel movie. It was very simple, but nonetheless, it has comedy in it, and it talks about diverging timelines. To start with the lecture, let me introduce you one thing that most of these movies have in common. So you can see, right? There's a wormhole. So all the time travels, most of the time travel stories start with a wormhole. You go into one portal, you come out of other portal, whether it's a time travel vehicle or not. So what actually relativity, the general theory of relativity says, it talks about the possibilities of wormholes existing in this universe. It is, although it is smaller than the atom, let's say 10 power minus 11 times smaller than an atom wormhole, there's a possibility that wormhole exists and it connects through 2 points of space-time continuum. Space-time means you can also travel through time as well as the space. So this gives a possibility of going back to past or going back to the future. However, there is one scientist that actually opposes this, who is none other than Stephen Hawking. He says past is not at all possible to travel because first thing, there's a famous quote which if time travel was possible, why didn't we have visitors from the future? He posed that, and to support his actual theories, he talks about one is the paradox, grandfather paradox. It is known because if you go back to past and kill your grandfather, whether you the question is whether you will still be alive or dead. That is one possibility. And second thing is the wormhole itself. To make a wormhole the size of a the life size, let's say big enough for a person to move, we need about 10 power 22 giga electrovolt. To explain what that is, to compare with our Large Hadron Collider, it accelerates particles. It requires only about 10 power 11 or something. So, which is 10 power 11 times more than the energy required to run a Hadron Collider. We might not be able to generate in our lifetimes at all. We might need to become an intergalactic space civilization where we harness the power of stars to do so. So the second way to time travel is a black hole, which is actually seen in Interstellar. You might be confused because that movie was really confusing when the protagonist was actually passing through the event horizon. So what has black hole to do with the time travel? It actually slows down the time. The mass that is concentrated at the black hole is so dense that even light cannot travel. But if you are careful enough, according to general relativity, you can slow down the passage of time. So where the world is, where on Earth it's the different time, your time will be slowed to very very tiny rate, such that you won't be aging much, while the people on Earth might have undergone generations and generations, and with that you will be able to travel into the future. So this is one of the possibilities of time travel. With I'll come back to the second part of the lecture. So, but before that, let's go on to the general evaluation session. I'll hand over the this online dais to Toastmaster Christian to carry over general evaluation.
Thank you, Toastmaster Pranav. And now let us start with the speech evaluations. We had 2 prepared speeches today, and the first one was given by Toastmaster Ritik. To evaluate Toastmaster Ritik, we have Toastmaster Kavita. Toastmaster Kavita, the stage is yours.
Thank you, General Evaluator. First of all, congratulations to TM Ritik for an excellent and informative speech on attention. Attention economy. The attention economy. It was indeed a very informative and clear, a well-constructed speech. And your gestures also assured that you were very comfortable. And the best part, I liked it, the way you started. You hooked the audience to your speech by demonstrating what one does in general. It's indeed it is a very usual thing that what everyone does nowadays. And as you rightly mentioned, the attention is a scarce resource, and that is how all your information was supported by the facts. And you had done a very good research, and you had also revealed the origin of the word, that is who coined the word, as well many researchers and their results. So it was all the sources were also clearly mentioned. As such, you seem to you looked confident and comfortable with the audience. That's overall, your speech is really nice, and probably one thing which you may have to work on is the pictorial representation, which would even reinforce, which would reinforce the facts that you had already stated, because there were quite a lot of facts that you mentioned. And for it to stay longer, a pictorial representation would help the audience, because some may be aware of all the things that you mentioned. For some, it may be new. For me, it is actually the Snapchat and the streaks that you spoke about was very new to me. And I learned, it's my learning today. So like that, quite a lot of things the audience may want to, some things were really new, and then some we already knew. So the pictorial representation you can work on, and to challenge, you may challenge by working on your intonation. So that's all. And it is actually a very informative and insightful speech, and good luck to you, TM Ritik. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kavita. Now, let me move on to the second speech evaluation. The speech was given by Toastmaster Kritika, and to evaluate her speech, let me welcome Toastmaster Rahul on stage. Toastmaster Rahul, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. Firstly, I would like to congratulate Toastmaster Kritika on successfully meeting all her objectives. Coming to her speech in the beginning itself grabbed the attention, not with her opening, but with her title. Personally, for me, the title was very intriguing and caught my attention on point, and I'm sure it did so for many of the audience today as well. Now, while attention is grabbed in the beginning, it is hard to hold that attention throughout that speech. But that was no challenge for Toastmaster Kritika today, because in her speech, like she mentioned, the 3 C's of mentoring, which showed that she was giving 3 points. And whenever she was transitioning between a point, she emphasized on it. She raised her voice, which told us, the audience, yes, you have to pay attention now. that kept our attention throughout the speech. And coming to another thing which I liked in Toastmaster Kritika's speech is the very tempo of her voice. Whenever she got excited, Toastmaster Kritika was visibly seen to be speaking fast. And whenever it was an important point being conveyed, something that we as the audience can take back, she slowed down so that it was ensured that we remember. All in all, I believe that the biggest asset for Toastmaster Kritika is her voice. Now, while her speech was overall pretty amazing, I have some areas where I felt she could have improved. The first one is the hand gestures. Talking about hand gestures today, there were moments where Toastmaster Kritika, and for a good portion of her speech, I felt her hand gestures were a bit close to her body, but there were areas where they did open up. What I would suggest Toastmaster Kritika is to open up a bit more in her speech. I noticed a couple of areas where I felt the hand gestures would have been better suited if they were open. For example, there was a sentence where Toastmaster Kritika started with "while Toastmasters," where I don't remember the exact sentence exactly. She came a bit forward and her hand gestures were like this. Now, instead, I felt it would have been better if she took a step back and opened up. I felt that would have had a bigger effect. And lastly, the eye contact. There were only two instances today where I noticed Toastmaster Kritika did look away from the audience. And both the times she did look away because she was trying to recollect her speech. At least that's what I felt. Now, my suggestion for this is there will be times where we do forget our speech. But instead of looking away, we can look at the audience instead. This can even add as a pause in our speech, which will add value. To summarize, Toastmasters Kritika was very good at keeping the audience attention by grabbing it in the beginning with the title, her opening, and with the emphasis on her points. And also the very tempo was very nice. The areas of improvements which I would suggest are the hand gestures and eye contact. I wish you all the best for your future speeches. Over to the general evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Team Rahul, for that evaluation of Toastmaster Kritika. With that, our speech evaluation getting over for the day, let us move on to our tag team. May I now call upon Toastmaster Darshini to provide her timer report, please. Toastmaster Darshini, the stage is yours.
Thank you, General Evaluator. First of all, I would like to congratulate all our speakers, table topic speakers, and the evaluators because they've used their time very wisely and they have been qualified. And coming to the timing being used by the speakers, for prepared speeches, Toastmaster Ritik used 6 minutes 30 seconds. Toastmaster Kritika used 6 minutes 27 seconds. Coming to their evaluator, Toastmaster Kavita used 2 minutes 20 seconds and Toastmaster Rahul used 3 minutes 20 seconds. Coming to the table topics, Toastmaster Vijay used 1 minute 28 seconds. Toastmaster Arun used 1 minute 49 seconds. Toastmaster Pranav used 1 minute 37 seconds and Toastmaster Abhinav used 2 minutes 2 seconds. Thank you. Over to the general evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Darshini. It appears that all the speakers have timed the speeches very well. Now, let us see how they are done when it comes to their passes and filler words. Let me call upon our counter for the day, Toastmaster Vivek, to give his report. Toastmaster Vivek, the stage is yours.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Now I will present the report. Can I share my window?
I think you need permission. Access to be
I
provided.
think it is visible.
Yes, it's there.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. So I will start from presiding officer. Actually, SA Priyanka has only one account. Presiding officer Rahul has 2 accounts and 1 A, total numbers 3. Presiding officer Arun has 3 accounts, total count was 3. TMOD, TM Pranav needs some more improvement. He has lots of unlexical and lexical fillers. Total unlexical figures are 4 and lexical figures are 11 and 3 silent pauses. Total number is 18. TT Master TM Sovini has only 1 account and 1 show, total count 2. And I would like to congratulate TM Krishnan. He has no fillers, no silent pauses, total count 0. Timer TM Darshni has 2 accounts, total 2. I could not count myself, so it is showing 0. Grammarian TM Priyanka also don't have any lexical or unlexical fillers, total count 0. Prepared speeches. First prepared speaker PM Ritvik. He was having 1 account, 1 use of A and 3 repeated use and 1 silent. Total count is 7. Second prepared speech TM Kritika. Total account 5. So and end words total 4. 1 repeated word, total count 10. Next is table topic speakers. TM Vijay Surana have 0 counts. TM Arun has 3 accounts and 1 so, total count 4. TM Pranav, he was using once so, once and, once like, and 2 times repeated words, total count 5. TM Abhinav, he used 2A, 4A, 3 times so, 1 and, 1A, 1 repeated words, total count 12. Then next is evaluators for prepared speeches. TM Kavita used 3 accounts, 1 U, 4 and 1 times like, 2 repeated words, total 11. And second evaluator, TM Rahul, he used 3 times A, 1 times A, 1 and 1 time repeated word, total 8 counts. That's all from my end. Over to General Evaluator TM Krishnan.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vivek. Now let's move to the third portion, grammarian. Let me call upon Toastmaster Priyanka to give her report. Toastmaster Priyanka, the stage is yours.
Thank you, General Evaluator. First of all, a big congratulations to all the speakers and evaluators. I think there's some really good usage of grammar today. Out of which I would like to highlight the phrase "put me off" used by Toastmaster Kritika, and the word "accentuate," which means to make it more prominent, used by Toastmaster Kritika. That was some really good usage. And Toastmaster Kavita from L&T had used the sentence "hooked the audience to screen," which was really nice. And apart from that, all of you were really amazing with your grammar language. And it's sad to see that no one had used the word of the day, which is, you used it so many. Okay, thank you. I'm sorry I didn't notice it, but I really encourage others to use the word of the day in our upcoming sessions. And nothing more to say. Once again, congratulations to all. Thank you. And over to the General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Priyanka. With that, the tag report is getting over. Now, let me move on to my General Evaluator report. I think we started well. There was a minor, very small delay in the beginning, but when 2 clubs join together and different platforms, it is understandable. The president nicely introduced and even looked at the guest opinion was taken as well. And then what I liked most is today the timer showed using the web, which is not seen before in our club. So it was a new thing for us. Using the web app for showing the timer code was really nice. And the grammarian also explaining about the origin of English. So we are trying to talk about bettering our English. She has gone one step ahead into, because being a time travel, she has traveled it time in backwards and talked about the origin of English, which is Anglo-Saxon, right? Okay, so that was really nice explaining, and her also explaining the this one. Same way, I also like the way TM Rahul explained his objectives, the speaker's objectives in detail, and the areas which are going to be observed by the evaluator. That was really nice of that. And the TT topics, they were so connected with the theme of the day. I really liked it. There's not even, you can say, 1% outside the theme or anything like that. All the topics were directly related to the theme of the day, which was really nice. Coming to the TMOD, he allowed the process to go after the speakers are over and the TT is also over. He started giving his explanation of the theme that he has chosen, and he has nicely backed it up with the slides, the various movies that has come on time, and how is it possible to move in time or not move in time, what are all the possibilities, etc. It was really nice. A lot of information packed TM script. Kudos to TM Pranav for that. Overall, the quality of the meeting, I would say, was very high. Both the speeches were really fantastic speeches, and the topics chosen by the speaker were also very apt. As Toastmaster Kritika in her speech said, her mentor is younger to her, but then so what? So for learning, age is no bar. That is amply demonstrated in this meeting of as two clubs. One is a corporate club and another is a college club, both coming together. And we had, in fact, I would say, and all my colleagues in L&T ECC Toastmasters Club might agree with me that we have a lot of learnings and takeaways from this meeting. Kudos to Vellore Toastmasters Club for organizing such a beautiful meeting, well prepared, well organized. Thank you. Looking forward to many more such meetings in the future. I don't think any areas where we really need to work upon anything. It a well conducted, well structured, well organized meeting. Thanks to all the participants. Over to the TMOD.
Thank you, Toastmaster Krishnan sir, for your very detailed meeting. And with that said, let me wrap up my second part of the lecture. It's going to be very short and it's more hopeful than the first. So let me start sharing screen. So last time I have said there is no hope for time travel to the past, but I would like to negate that, because I was talking about general relativity, but there is also another field of science which came along with general relativity, that is quantum mechanics. It actually solves, there are theories that help to solve the problem of the grandfather paradox. Whether you will be alive or dead when you go to the past and kill your grandfather, the answer is, what happens is, when you go to the past and kill your grandfather, you're not actually going back to the time. You're at that moment, the universe itself splits into two. It is as per the quantum mechanics. You remember the Schrodinger cat, right? It is both alive and dead at the same time. So when you go back to the past and kill your grandfather, the universe actually splits into two. One in which one you exist, in the second your grandfather exists. I mean, in first you exist and your grandfather exists. In second, you don't exist and your grandfather also don't exist. But which actually gives me hope to explain. I don't want to explain this thing right now I'm showing, but it's a very complicated loop of world lines, like going back to the past, changing the past and changing the future itself, in the where the universe branches off into multiple things. It's very complicated to actually implement this in the real life, but hopefully scientists, as they do more and more research and come with more and more quantum mechanical theories, I hope even the time travel to past is possible. With Let me end this session, and I thank you everyone for giving me, supporting me this TMOD session. And not only that, I also want to acknowledge my nerd friends who has helped me compile all this scientific theories and time travel fiction stories. Let me hand over to Toastmaster Rahul.
Yes, thank you, Toastmaster Pranav. That was indeed a very interesting session that we've had today, especially with all the time travel and the grandfather paradox. It's uh, new information, yes. So, speaking about the learning that the TMOD gave us today, I'm sure when we have two clubs who are one conducting their 400 plus session and one who's just on the 72nd, I'm sure there's a lot we can learn from each other. And so far, there have been few Toastmasters who have shared what they have learned so far. But if there is anyone else who would like to share something new that they learned, or some feedback of improvement that they would like to give to the other club, I would like to welcome that now. But I also have one thing to say first. The first thing is the R counter report, which that was something new to me today, as in how it was divided into unlexical and lexical, and then there was one more. I felt it was a very good breakdown of the R counter report and show that how more in depth a person can go into the R counter report. So I would like to thank L&T Toastmasters for showing us at VTC how we can improve on our account role. Similarly, if there's anyone else who has learned something, I think we can have two sharings before we go into the ballots.
Thing I learned today was from Toastmaster Pranav. Throughout the session, he had a smile on his face. No matter what you're saying, just have a smile on your face. It will automatically open the audience up. Congratulations, Pranav, sir. Well done.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Toastmaster Ritika. Anyone else?
That holds good for you also, Toastmaster Ritik.
Thank
You
you,
are
sir.
also smiling throughout your speech.
I have one suggestion. It's that it would be great if everyone could have their videos on. We're having 26 people today, and it would be great to show all your lovely faces.
Yes.
Okay. I presume everyone's videos on. All right. Okay, then I think we can go into the ballot winners for today. So many, do you have the certificates ready?
Actually, the certificates are not ready.
Uh,
I'll prepare it and send it to everyone individually later.
okay, okay. Cool. We can send it later on then. So today we'll have the awards. First off, the best table topic speaker. So the best table topic speaker for today is Toastmaster Vijay from Vellore Toastmasters Club. Up next, we have the award for Best Evaluator. All right, the Best Evaluator is somebody. I don't understand what you wrote. Are you saying I me?
So the best evaluator award goes to Toastmaster Rahul George.
Oh, okay. Clarification, she wrote you know who, so I did not know who to announce. That's why. Yes. All right. The best tag role player for today is Toastmaster Vivek, who played the accountant from L&T Toastmasters Club. The best role player award for today is uh, Toastmaster Saumani, who was the table topic master. And lastly, we have the award for the best speaker. I usually like to announce this last because everyone wants to know who won this award. So today's best speaker award goes to Toastmaster Ritik. With that, I think we have come very close to the end of our today's session. Toastmaster Arun, is there anything you would like to add before we can close this meeting?
No, that's all. So thank you very much from our side, L&T ECC Toastmasters. Like I said, it was quite a surprise when the videos were turned on for the first instance. We were all quite surprised because we knew it was Vellore Toastmasters Club, but I personally thought every VIT. I mean, I'm not sure if all of you are from VIT, but I believe most of you are from there. So I thought every VIT club would have a VIT or somewhere, something like that. So it was a pleasant surprise. Because quite a few of you are like very young, and it was something that I am sure had an impact on each and every speaker from our club that was here. They wanted to really perform for some reason. So that is something, and definitely we took away a lot from the way that you conduct clubs and the small nuances like what Krishnan sir had mentioned about how Rahul introduced his speaker and all that. So we had a lot of things that are takeaways, and definitely I'm sure you also had a few at least. So looking forward to many more such integrated meetings. That's it. Thank you very much, and thank you all for joining us and staying till 8:45. Thank you very much.
Yes, I'd also like to add that us at VTC, we've been looking to have a combined session for so long. So I think it was a great opportunity that we got here to organize this today. So I'd like to thank you for, I think you guys invited us. I'm not sure how it went, but yes.
Yeah, our VP works in secrecy, so even we don't know how it happened.
Yes.
It was Toastmaster Senthil Kumaran sir who sat very patiently through so many questions of mine to two weeks. And sir, would you like to say a few words?
I think he had to leave, so I think Senthil sir is not there.
Okay.
I'm sure he'll be happy.
Yes, sir. So I think overall also for me, I've been in Toastmasters for so long, ever since I was in school, and every meeting is something which I can still take back and which is something I'm very happy about. With that, I believe we have come to an end of another wonderful Toastmaster session. And with that, I would like to declare this meeting closed. I'm sure we all are hungry, so we can now go and have dinner.
Rahul, I think Vivek sir wanted to say something.
Oh, okay, yes. Vivek sir, if you want to go ahead.
Thank you so many. Actually, I just wanted to share my views. As Mr. Rahul told that this is just a 72nd meeting for your club, and we had more than 400 meetings. But I feel that it was not like that. You are very new to the Toastmasters meetings and all this. 70. I felt it is quite good experience from your team members. very nice way the TT session was taken. You also started the meeting very nicely. It was a very amazing experience with having a joint meeting with you. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, sir, for sharing your views. I think with that, we can end this meeting. Thank you, everyone, for joining, and good night.